Hey there, this is Taylor Elwood, and today I thought I would talk about how to talk about and share what you're feeling around failing and and how to get the support you need, both from your community and your family and loved ones. Obviously, I've been doing these videos as I've been going through this process of change in my life as a result of things not really working out with the businesses, and um, at least, well, temporarily not working out anyway. I'm going to put it that way because, I'm continuing to work on stuff and I'm going to continue to move forward. But I think that, when you're in this situation where you're realizing, okay, the way things are right now is not going to work in the long run, and it's not going to work in the short run, and I have to make some changes to my life as a result, it can be really scary. And of course, I've talked about the importance of being present with your emotions and really holding space with what you're feeling and accepting it. And that's an important step. But another important step is being able to connect and communicate with people around you about what's going on. Now, one of the ways I've done that obviously is through these videos. I'm choosing to share my journey with you as I'm going through this process of transition and change in my life. And, one of the reasons I'm choosing to do it, quite honestly, is because I do want to share it with all of you and maybe help some of you who may be going through a similar process at some time or another whenever you watch these videos. But part of it is also because, it actually is proving helpful to me because I'm doing something about this. It's not that I'm not sitting there paralyzed, with shock, unable to move forward. Instead, I'm choosing to move forward, and in whatever direction I can find. But there are going to be things that you're going to be feeling and experiencing that you're not going to want to just share with everyone or even with your community. I mean, I see this as really sharing it with my community, but maybe there are going to be times where there are certain things that you're feeling where who you should share them with should really be, maybe like your close friends and confidants or your partner, in marriage or relationship or whatever. um, you know and so, as an example, this morning, I talked with my wife for a while and just shared with her all the fears that I was feeling. Not just about, the business is failing, but, like the fears that I was feeling about transitioning back into the workplace. And the fear I was feeling around, can I learn the necessary skills and things that I need to learn in order to, make myself um, relevant in that workplace, because, things have changed a lot since the last time I was working for somebody else. And it was really helpful to just open up and share with her what was going on. And one of the things that I said to her at the time, and I think this was really important for me, is I said to her, I don't want you to give me a solution. I don't want you to try and make things better. I just need you to be here to listen to me and just hold presence with me while I'm sharing what I'm feeling. And the reason I mention that is because, it's a natural instinct for people to want to solve problems. Like, if someone comes to you and they say, oh, things are really bad, blah, 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 the first thought that probably comes to mind is, how can I help this person solve the problem? It's really a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it's because you care about the person, you want to help them. And on the other hand, it's also because, being around uncomfortable feelings is uncomfortable. And so the best way to deal with uncomfortable feelings is to get rid of them somehow. And solving the problem will surely do that. But in a situation like this, and really in any situation where somebody's just come to vent, as it were, I think it's more important to listen and be present. It's not always easy, but it's absolutely important. It's a skill I had to work hard at, and learn, and eventually got there. And it's a skill anyone has to work at and learn. So it's important that if you're in a situation like this where you've had some catastrophic failure occur, that when you're talking with people closely, not a video like this, not a video like this, but when you're talking with people who are close to you, like a close friend or confidant or your lover or your partner, that you set some clear boundaries around what you need from them. And so I recommend, for example, saying, this is what I'm feeling right now. This is what I'm capable of expressing. Um, and this is what I need from you. Like in my case, with my wife, it was just, I need you to listen and hold space with me. I don't need a solution. I just want to share what I'm feeling right now. And it was interesting because afterwards, she said to me, I feel better about you sharing what you're feeling because I know what's going on with you. And she's like, I know that, I can't necessarily solve it for you, but just being able to be there for you and listen, and at the same time knowing that you would trust me enough to open up to me, that alone was enough for her to feel like she was part of this process that I'm going through in terms of resolving the feeling of failure, that and resolving the path forward. So I think that's really important, is that you have that kind of space in place and that defined parameters. And the thing to remember too is that you're not necessarily looking for a solution, because look, there are no easy solutions for a situation where you've failed and it's affected your life in a dramatic manner. I mean, like in my case, my solution when I realized, there's nothing I could do to turn stuff around with my business as it was to accept that, find a way to start forgiving myself. That was the next step, and that's a step that I'm still working through to some degree. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I shared what I shared with her today, because I had to honestly be able to open up to someone and say, here are all the things that I'm saying to myself. Here are the ways that I'm beating myself up. Here are all the other things that are going on. And it hurts and it's hard. And I wish I could change it. And being able to just have her say, you know what, I accept where you're at. And I'm so proud of you because you've done X, Y, and Z, and you're doing, and it helped, because you have to be willing to forgive yourself for where you are at. And part of forgiving yourself is also ultimately realizing, yes, there was nothing else that could really be done. You did everything you could. And now you need to figure out how to move forward. And then, of course, in this particular case, this being, a business failing and having to, go back into the workforce, deciding from there, okay, I'm going to go out there and start job hunting, and I'm going to start finding work. And in my particular case, it was, I'm going to find whatever work I can find while looking for the work I really want. But if I find something else, I'll take it. And then, if I find something else that I really don't want for the long term, continue looking and work on improving the skill set, figure out what skills I'm lacking in and work on those. Now, I mean, if your situation is different, I mean, I'm talking about this primarily in relationship to how do you handle a business failing. But I mean, let's say you're watching this and you're going through a divorce or something like that. It's going to be a little bit different, obviously. I mean, maybe you're looking for work, but you may very well have a job and be just fine and dandy with that. But maybe what you're really dealing with is, how do I cope with the emotional fallout and feelings of failure around, my divorce? And, that's not a process I'm really comfortable talking about. That's where you go to maybe talk to a therapist. But I guess, what I am trying to say here is that, there are some of the steps that I've shared in this video you could probably transpose and modify according to whatever your situation is. So, and then of course, the final step for me is just the realization also of giving myself permission to grieve, but also giving myself permission to look forward and to say, yes, I'm still going to find some way to continue working on my businesses. It may be extremely part-time. It may be one of those things where I fit it in as and where I can. But that if this really means something to me, I will find a way forward. Or if I decide that if you end up deciding, or I decide, what, maybe businesses aren't the way to move forward. Maybe I need to figure something else out. Then figuring out whatever else it is that you can do that can help you move forward with your life. And I don't mean just, I'm taking on another job. I mean, like figuring out what really matters to you that will carry you forward and bring you joy. Like in my case, I would say that what brings me joy is writing. So one of the things that I'm looking forward to getting back to once I've, spent some time learning some new skills is actually getting back to doing some writing, just for myself. And I still am planning on continuing to work on my businesses, but recognizing too that you can really make some space for some different things, and then from there figure out where you're going forward. So I just wanted to share this with you because again, this is part of my process for navigating failure in this particular case, and turning it into a positive experience. Turning an experience that feels extremely negative into a positive one where it propels you forward and it moves you forward in a direction that's healthy for you and good for you and good for your family, and et cetera, et cetera. So I just wanted to share that with you, and that's it. And I'll probably be back at some point later this week with another video talking about skills or learning skills or something like that. Because again, I want to continue this little video series. I think it's helpful for me, and I hope it's helpful for you. So talk to you later, and take care. Bye-bye.